welcome back to Bincotton Bridge, Banished with me, Oyster Boy. How are you, my friends? I hope you're doing well. Bincotton Bridge seems to be doing fairly well. It's autumn. We have a very healthy food supply. The citizenry has been growing. We're up to 36 citizens. If we can get up to 40, I think it would be time to put in a marketplace. I am a little concerned about the level of logs. I mean, it's autumn. Theoretically, we should have been cutting logs all summer, and we really should be at our minimums. Well, right now, the minimum log limit is set to 250, and I don't see no 250 logs in our stockpile. So I think we're going to raise the log limit to 400. We want our foresters working a little harder throughout the year. We may need to put in a second forester at this point. We may need another forester's cabin. But we only have, well, there you go. It's about time you guys got busy. We only have 2 available laborers, so we really don't have a lot of laborers to work on new jobs. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to tell the citizens that are currently not occupied to gather some trees so we can get our log levels in line, and then we'll have to pay attention to see if the foresters can keep up with it. Alright, so I'm going to tell my citizens to gather all resources right along this line of the grid, going back to the little river there. And I think we'll stop here. Alright, now we don't want to go across the river, so we'll stop there. That will get us, well, that'll get us some wood anyway. There's a little bit of iron over there, so I'm going to tell them to get that and that. Very shortly, I think we'll be building a bridge across this river so we have access to some more materials over there. We've gathered up a lot of the easy-to-retrieve items as far as stone and iron go in the immediate vicinity. I mean, there's a little scattered here and there, but at this point we've been pretty good about gathering it all up. That is of some concern to me. Well, there's some stone over here. If we'll have to start sending them further. Reason being that when you run out of ground level resources, you're going to have to start moving into mining and quarrying. And mines and quarries require a large number of laborers for them to really be productive. I mean, when you put a quarry on the map, or a mine on the map, you can have up to 15 citizens work there. And if you don't have at least maybe 6 or 7 work there, it doesn't really seem to be all that worth it. Because if you just have a couple citizens working, a couple laborers working in your mine, or a couple miners working in your mine, a couple stonecutters working in your quarry, yeah, stone and iron will trickle in. And I mean trickle. It'll take several days for your laborers to gather enough stone or iron to just make a stone house or something like that. So, speaking of stone houses, since our food looks so good, it being late autumn, I want to take a moment and just see what would the cost of another stone house be. That would cost us 40 stone. I don't care too much about that. It would cost us 10 iron. I don't really care too much about that. I think we're okay. It would cost us 24 logs. That could be a problem, given our log situation. But we are also having our citizens cut a bunch of logs, so I think we're going to go ahead and have one more house come online here. And I guess we will... Sound effects by Chuck. We will put it right there. Right there. And then the next one will go here, but I'll rotate it to face the road. But for now, just the one. Alright, this speed is unbearable, so let's speed it up. Now we do have a trader in place. but no merchants have shown up yet, so I'm sure we'll get a merchant in spring. You usually will get one merchant per year per trader. And there goes all the wood. It's coming down. $200 logs. It's not really a lot, huh? I think we're going to have to gather some more trees. No, not a forester, you goof. Resource gathering. Come down here and get these trees. Got to keep those wood supplies up there. Don't want my citizens freezing to death. Alright. So, I think it's also time for us to create a graveyard, aka a cemetery, simply because we're going to need it soon enough, and it adds places on the map that our citizens can congregate in. I kind of like this side of the map over here for a cemetery. The problem is we have this big hill in our way. That's kind of it's going to mess up our grid. But you know what? That's life. Best laid plans of mice and men and all that. So let's go in here and let's set out a dirt road. And we've been making squares that are 16 on a side. Okay, yeah, see, so that's a problem. Alright, so we are not going to be able to build a full-size cemetery in here. So I guess we'll just have to make do with what we can. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? There's a little tiny hill there? That's impossible. Alright, we're gonna... hang on. We're gonna strip this road out for now. We're just gonna forget about that road. Alright, and then we're gonna come in here and we're gonna request a cemetery. Let's see, what does a cemetery cost us? I think it just costs stone. 1 stone per unit of length, which I think means for each square. Alright, so that's a 3x1 cemetery costs 4. A 14x1 costs 26. Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that assessment. I don't believe their numbers. Something's amiss there. Alright, so that's about as big as we can make it. And if we tuck it in one more, then we can have a road running behind it. Now, the gate on the cemetery seems to be in the back, so I can hit the R key to rotate the cemetery, just like you can with any other building. And we'll put the gate on this side. And that will get us some more trees. Alright, we're up to 3 laborers. Somebody became an adult, Marvid. Marvid is educated, so he will be a productive adult. Let's raise our builders to 4 temporarily just to get this stuff built. Is our new house online? It is. Fred and Terret have moved into the new house. Good. Food levels still look good. 7,300. The other thing I'd like to call your attention to is that the health meter had dropped to 4 hearts, and now it's at 4.5. And that's because we brought in the herbalist. So, with the herbalist in place, we're better off. Alright. Here comes the cemetery. We have no deceased citizens, of course. Alright, and while that's happening, I'm going to go here, and we're just going to gather up all this loose food that's lying around. You know, onions and wild roots, and let's just get it. Okay, a merchant has shown up. Now let's go take a look at the merchant. Alright, so there he is. He's pulled up at the trading post. And there are different kinds of merchants, so let's see what we have here. Okay, we have a resource merchant. The resource merchant only trades resources, and all he has to trade are logs. He won't trade for food, so that 750 potatoes and 50 venison we stuffed in here can't be traded for. He'll only trade resources for resources. We are at our 400 log limit because of our recent harvesting, and so we'd basically be trading iron for logs. So 2 iron would be 10, 2 iron would be 10 logs. We're at 207 iron. I really don't need logs that badly, so I think we're going to dismiss this trader. We don't want to trade with them. If you want a bigger variety in trades each year, you unfortunately have to build more trading posts. Alright, so he'll make his way downriver. Off he goes. The various kinds of merchants you can get. You can get seed merchants. They can sell you crop seeds and tree seeds for orchards. Seeds are very expensive. But once you get seeds, you never have to buy them again. Like if you buy pear seeds, let's say, you have pear seeds forever. You can always make a pear orchard. You can make as many pear orchards as you want. It costs 2,500 units. And like the resource merchant who just left, seed merchants will not trade for food. You can't give them 2,500 corn to get pear seeds. Livestock merchants can come along. They can offer you, sheep, chickens, or cows. We don't have any livestock yet. If a livestock merchant came in, I'd be tempted to get some livestock, and we could set some citizens up as herdsmen, create a pasture, so on and so forth. You can also get food traders, obviously named. They bring food. And finally, you can get general goods traders, which I think are the best, because general goods traders will trade anything for anything, so the restrictions aren't there. So when the general goods trader shows up with, let's say, apple seeds, he will take corn for apple seeds. So you have options there. You'll be able to trade him anything to get just about anything. The only downside is I've never seen a general goods trader show up with livestock. They don't have them. So looks like this year's trader was a bust. We'll just have to wait until next season. And let's see how things are going. Our cemetery is done. We can fit up to 40 graves in here, which is more than the entire population of a town, so I think that's ample. And you'll note as time passes that people will come to the cemetery and just sort of hang out, like this person here. They're just hanging out in the cemetery. It's like a public park. It would be nice if if Banished offered more recreation sites. People seem to only hang around wells and cemeteries. Speaking of wells, I've been thinking we should put in a well over here. We're counting on these structures for a lot. We're counting on the herbalist, the hunter, the gatherer, and the forester. I think if one of those buildings caught on fire, we wouldn't want our citizens running all the way back to this well to get buckets of water and bring them here. So it is probably prudent to put a well right here near these buildings. So I want to do that next, so let's get that done. That's going to take 4 logs, no big deal, and 40 stone. Yikes, kind of a big deal. Alright, that will use 4 builders. Now, speaking of stone, let's just take another look around. We have to start looking at great distances now. There are large quantities of stone, they're just at a pretty good distance. So, like, there's a scattering here. There's a pretty thick batch of it right here. And it is late spring, so this is summertime. It's not like we have to worry about our people freezing. So I think now would be a good time to instruct them to come out here and gather all of that stone. And any other little bits that we've missed between there and there. And then, you know, if they get all that and we're still shy, then we can start looking at this. Okay, just wanted to point out that it has finally come. Some of our citizens are reaching the ends of their life. It's still the same year we were in when I cut away. It has moved through to early autumn, so it's early autumn, the year 10. and we have lost a couple of our oldest citizens. Orance passed away. He was a hunter, and one of our available laborers replaced him. Blossy, our farmer, also passed away, and one of our available laborers replaced them. The builders finished building this well, so I gotta knock that back down to put 2 more laborers in place. And we have to watch this carefully, because if 2 more people die, there go those 2 laborers. And this is why we want to try to keep the population to the point where if someone dies, there's always available laborers to replace them. We can get in a situation where we're kind of stuck. Alright, so let's kick things off and see if anybody else passes away. And I'm just going to pan over to the graveyard, because it looks like we got it in just in time. And yep, there are 2 graves in the graveyard. Now, when people pass away, sometimes you will suddenly have a burst of child production. Like I said, if you have a house where 2 people are, well, these people are in their 60s, 2 people are living with their parents, and so therefore, or you got a couple that's married, but they're living with the bride's parents or the groom's parents, they will not have children. If the parents pass away, suddenly there's an available slot. All 3 of these people are pretty elderly. If they all pass away, young people will move into this home and they'll start having children. So I think we're going to have to expect, we're going to have to expect a number of people passing away. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About a third of our population is over 55. So I think we need to encourage more childbirth. So let's put in another house. Or do I want to try to put in 2 houses? We don't have enough stone for it. We can put in 1 house. Let's just put in 1 house for now. And we got to keep an eye on that. So we have 2 people that have become students. That means they are older children. So that's at least 2 people who will become adults relatively soon. Alright, so that house is underway. Stone is trickling in from the people gathering it. We now have enough stone to make another house. I think I would like to wait until the builders finish this house. We'll see who moves in. Hopefully it'll be a very young couple. Yeah, there's a lot of people in here. This is sort of medieval, so this young person, this 13-year-old girl, might be considered marrying age in this game. So let's see. Oh, we got a 33-year-old and a 29-year-old. Fine. Alright, and we're up to 53 stone. I'm going to drop in another house immediately. This might be a mistake. If you build too many structures and you push the population too fast, you end up with, you end up with a dead population. Speaking of that, a friend of mine, Sayuride Gaming, is also playing this game. I sent him a copy of it for Christmas. It's not really his kind of game, but he decided to give it a try, and he's having a tough time with it. He put up a video for it the other day, which was hilarious, and I will link to it in the video description. You should definitely check that out. It's good for a laugh. Alright, so what's going on in here? Alright, so this is fine. These 2 people are both educated, I think. I mean, remember, Naniello is educated. Oh, they're both herbalists. Okay, fine. Alright. And we have picked up a new child. That's good, and a new student. Good, good, good. All right, 38 people. Really want to try to get to 40 adults before I try to make a marketplace. Okay, it's summer of year 11. We had our merchant come in, and it is Tristan for the livestock merchant who has sheep. Sheep are good. They're good for mutton, and they can also be sheared for wool that the tailor can use to make better quality clothing. Unfortunately, livestock merchants will not trade for food, so that 800 units of food that we have there, well, actually the venison is worth 3 each, so that's 900 units of food. That 900 units of food we have there is no good. They won't take that and trade for the sheep. And they want 600 per sheep. We need 2. So even if we gave them all of the logs, this is all the logs that we have, and all of the iron that we have, we wouldn't even be a quarter of the way there. We do have a large number of logs, but you would need 600 logs to buy 2 sheep. So I think we are just going to have to say goodbye to this merchant and wait until we're in a position to be able to trade more valuable items, like maybe ale. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to say goodbye to the sheep for now. That's too bad. Alright, I will get back with you in a moment. Okay, it is early winter, year 11. We had a couple more citizens die of old age. Not surprising. We knew that was going to start happening soon. Graveyard's nowhere near capacity, so we're currently at 1 laborer, which bums me out. Remember, we're still down a fisherman. We've been down a fisherman for a long time. Our food situation, however, is so good that we're getting the storage for produced goods is near capacity again. So I think we're going to have to tick one of these builders down. Well, I guess we'll stay at 1 laborer. Just hopefully we won't have like 3 or 4 people die all at once. In anticipation of needing more stone, I've decided it's time to build a little bridge across this stream. It's just that there's stone handy right here, right here, right here. There's also more over here. We may have to build 2 bridges. And given that is the case, we're going to have to invest a little stone so that we have access to that. So I think we'll go in here and we'll say that we want to build a bridge. It costs 1 stone per unit length and 4 logs. We got the logs. So there we go. 7 stone and 28 logs. So we'll start there. And we're also going to, I think, build a dirt path along here. Straight, possibly, to there, because I think we're going to put another bridge over here. 1 bridge at a time. And let's accelerate the clock again here. So our population is down to 38. There's been some attrition, but it's just old age. It's nothing. Nobody's starving, nobody's freezing, nobody's dying of disease. And so far, we have not had a disaster strike. There are disasters in this game. Your village can be struck by tornado, which is devastating. You can be struck by fire. You can be struck by disease. You can have crop infestation, orchard infestation. If you've got livestock, your livestock can be hit by diseases. Just fun for the whole family. Alright, so let's go tell our citizenry to get their butts across this bridge and gather up this stone. We're going to need it. Probably this stone too. It's nearby. It is winter, but they don't have to go too far to get it. And in the meantime, we're going to let our builders build us out to here, and then we're going to put a bridge in over here too, so that we can easily access that stuff. So there go our builders. Looks like they've cut the road. So now we're going to ask them to build a bridge. There we go. We got a guy named Sham. These are some great names. But he has become a student. That's good. The reserve of firewood is low. The reserve of firewood is gone. What is up with that? Woodcutter has been told to produce 200 units of firewood. I think we better up that to 300 units if we're running out. Alright, so the reserve of firewood is gone, but that doesn't mean people are completely out of firewood. This isn't great. But there are plenty of logs. There's 300 logs. So it's possible that the woodcutter just can't keep up with the demand anymore. Now that may be because he's not stockpiling enough in the summer. Actually, let's raise that to 400. I usually like to keep the firewood limit and the log limit set to the same. So if the foresters are bringing in 500 logs, then I want the woodcutter to have 500 firewood. There are plenty of logs for him to work with. If he is not able to, if the next winter comes and I have the same problem, it will mean it's time for a second woodcutter, which would be unfortunate because I really would like to build a marketplace. So, in the meantime, let's, we've got a few stray trees growing right here in our grid. Let's just take them down. Every little bit helps, so we'll do that. Our citizens should be over here gathering up stone, and they are. We're still at one laborer, so we have to pay very careful attention to the next person who dies of old age, because we'll be at 0 laborers if we don't get a replacement laborer. Alright. Reserve of firewood is low. Yeah, we know that. The fact that it came in late winter didn't make me worry as much. Reserve is the firewood that's in the stockpiles. Each house has an inventory. And as you can see, this house still has firewood. So, thank heavens we're using stone houses. Because if we were using wooden houses, we probably would have a second woodcutter by now. We're up to 3 laborers, and we're at 38 citizens. We're really close to being able to build a marketplace. Let's take a look at the marketplace. So that needs 62 stone. We have 200. 40 iron. We have 150. And 58 logs. We have plenty of materials. And we have 3 laborers, so we'd have at least 1 that we could assign as a vendor to the marketplace. We're pretty close. So I think we're going to go ahead and plonk that marketplace down. I think it's time. We've been waiting a long time to put it in. And you can see the yellow circle on the marketplace. So the marketplace helps reduce the hassle for supplies. What a vendor does is a vendor takes over the job of localizing storage for goods. So we have stockpiles in 3 different places. We have barns in 2 different places. If this community was bigger, there might be stockpiles all over the place. But the vendor's job is to make sure that everybody who's inside that circle has enough goods to survive. So all the houses are within the circle, which means that the marketplace will continue to acquire material until it has enough material for all those houses. It'll get the firewood that you need for all those houses. It'll get the logs you need for the woodcutter in there. It'll get the iron and the wool and the leather that you need for the tailor in there. That's the function of the marketplace. And we're going to go ahead and build one. And that takes 6 builders, so I'm going to move it up to 4. It'll get built, it'll just take longer. It's getting close there. marketplace takes shape. Now, you see this little well in the marketplace? That's decoration. It's not a real well. So, you know, if you're worried about your marketplace catching fire, and you probably should be, make sure there's a well near your marketplace. Don't assume that the citizens will use that one. And fortunately for us, there is one. We put it right here, right dead center in town. All right, now while all that's going on, let's go see who pulled into our warehouse, our trading post. I have upped the numbers on things. I upped the logs to 150, venison to 150. I added 10 firewood. I think that's it. So I have upped the numbers. All right, so let's see who our trader is. It's a general goods merchant. Sweet. Okay, so our general goods merchant will sell us firewood. We might want to consider that. He's also will sell us pears. We don't need pears. He is selling squash seeds, which would be awesome to get. And then we have a new kind of crop to grow. Let's see. If we gave him all that potato, and we gave him that 10 units of firewood, and that 150 units of venison, and 50 units of iron, and the 150 logs, yeah, we're still coming up short. We are still coming up short. But not that short. Let's take a minute and just go over to our warehouses and see what we have in large supply. We have 1,200 cabbage, 1,600 potatoes in this warehouse alone, in this barn. Okay, and in this one, 800 cabbage, no potatoes, 1,500 fish, 1,500 venison, and venison is selling at 3 apiece, 3 units apiece. So if we maxed out all of our items here again, there we go. Okay. We're at 1790, which means we need another 710, which divided by 3 would be 240, something like that. 240 more venison to make up the difference. So if we got venison up to 250, 290, if we got it up to if we got it up to 350, we would be set, I think. We would be able to finish this deal. So let's set let's set our desired venison to 350. And then let things go. And eventually the merchant will leave, but he'll stick around for a while. So let's give our here he comes, 350. Okay, good. Just want to give our trader some time to come up. Alright, so now I think this is good. I think this will get us there. So yeah, that's 1,000 right there. And then 150 logs. That's 1,350, and then 50 iron, that's 1,600, and then 10 firewood, that's 1,640. Alright, well, if I did 750 potatoes, then I would be overpaying. No. Yes. Oh, no, I'm not overpaying. That's still not enough. I need 110 more units. Holy cracker barrels. Alright, well then let's go and get, I don't know. We had plenty. Let's get 250 fish. Alright. Let's tell our trader to wander back out there and come back with a wheelbarrow full of fish. Here he comes. And he brought back 5 fish. Hey, that was great, dude. You showed up with 200 venison steaks in one trip, and this time 5 fish. Okay, so Parker the builder has died of old age, and Al Frederick has replaced him. We're not building anything right now, so let's knock our builders back down to 2. Oh, look at those supplies. Food stocks are very good looking right now. There we go. There's the 250 fish. Alright, so now I think we can complete this trade. And let's start with the El Cheapo goods that we have in large supply. There's 1,000 for that. 2050 for that. 2090 for that. 2340. 2540, we're overpaying by 40. There you go. So we can get squash seeds by trading all these goods. Let's do it. Good. Now, what's going to happen now is our local trader here is going to pull in materials to bring all those numbers back up. So we currently have our logs set at 150. There's only 280 logs, and it is autumn. So I'm going to set logs to 0. I don't want him raiding the log pile right now. I also don't want him raiding the firewood pile right now. He can get the fish, that's fine. He can get the venison, he can get the potatoes and so forth. That's all fine. The iron, well, we are at 100 iron. Let's ditch the iron for now. Don't want him pulling in those resources. Alright, I think we're good. Oh, and we can dismiss the trader. We're done. No more trades. Okay, so this thing is complaining that storage for produced goods is near capacity, and he's going to run off and get 750 potatoes and 350 whatevers. Okay, so now we need vendors to work the marketplace. We're just going to assign 1 because we have a small number of laborers. Alright, so now we have a vendor working the marketplace. This will help our citizens stay stocked with goods. I really think that very soon we're going to have people passing away and young people moving into these houses. But I think we're going to build our last house. The last one on this block. Considering such a large quantity of our population are very elderly. We're currently slated to get 3 more workers at some point soon because we have 3 students. But, you know, we could easily lose more than 3 people to old age if we have that many people in their late 60s and 70s. And there's 4 people in their 70s, 1 in their 60s. So we could be in trouble. We could be in trouble. Oh boy. That's a lot of people in their 70s. You know, I think we're going to build 1 more house. I think we're going to come over here and put a house on this lot. It's risky. It's risky, but I think we have to take the risk. Okay. Alright, and so I think at this point I'm going to draw this episode of Bincotton Bridge to a close. Today you saw trading, you got some advice on merchants, the different kinds, and you know, certain techniques that you use for trading, things to, you know, keeping the practice of keeping an eye on what's going to happen to your stockpiles after a trade, and you know, taking into consideration time of the year, production, things like that. This house just came online, that's good. Holy smokes. And we built the graveyard. You've begun to see the attrition of old age. And we got our marketplace built. And it is beginning to accumulate large quantities of goods to keep these people supplied. Situation in these barns, this one used to be almost 100% full. It's all the way down to 31%. So situations in those barns are going to get better. So I think we are going to bring it to a close here. I'm going to bid you goodbye and thank you for joining me. In the next episode, provided that we don't enter a death spiral due to attrition, I think we will start looking at building a church or a town hall or a hospital. Thank you for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And I hope you'll be back for the next episode of Bincotton Bridge and Banished. Until then, bye-bye.